All right, we are recording, and I'm here with my homie Nick.
What's good,
Nicholas
man?
Balsamo.
Yeah, dude, stoked to be here, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming in. So, just a little background: I've known Nick for a minute. He's just been like a Boulder staple. He's been around the spheres that I've been in. He's at the gym all the time, so we've just been like chatting each other up and just seeing what's good. And he's into some really cool shit. So, I'm really excited about this episode. We're gonna lean into darkness. And when I say darkness, I want to relate that specifically to shifts in the seasons and how that affects us. And I was speaking to you at the gym the other day about a little bit of darkness that I was going through. And I want to also connect that back in with this notion of polarity and men's groups and the need for especially men to be able to lean on the stability of other men. And real quick, my last podcast with Alan McGrath Isbell is amazing. I would recommend anyone interested in men's groups, intimacy, and everything like that, listen to that podcast, because he talks about men getting into trouble when we try to lean on our, feminine partner for stability, for groundedness. When in actuality, the feminine energy is inherently chaotic. It's unstable, it's unpredictable, and that's the beauty of it. But we're just leaning on the feminine in a way that is not healthy. And that's why he's just over and over again saying there's a need for men to have men's groups, these communities of guys that we can lean on when things are tough, so we can be vulnerable and be held with that stability. So
the way that I see the feminine is very watery. And there's this beautiful analogy that helps me in my everyday life, in my current relationship. When the ocean is chaotic, does it have anything that's stable to come up against? Is the masculine able to be this land? Whoa. Right? If we're using this analogy of the ocean, the land, and the beach as this relational space, right? The ocean can be as the ocean is. Whether it's chaotic or magnificently beautiful, like to a man, it's like, wow, that is amazing, right? With the sunset. Can the man hold that boundary? Can the man be there, not to push the water away, but so the water could come right up against that right? And that takes a lot of initiated energy, because when the water is being chaotic, when my partner is coming towards me with some chaos and maybe projecting some things my way, maybe starting to blame me or the land, right? Maybe the ocean is like trying to submerge the land. If I'm unable to hold my space there, then I will be taken over. I will be in all that stuff. And I won't be able to hold that. And so that's been a big practice in my relationships, to be able to recognize when I need to hold the boundary.
Yeah, bro. You know what my my homie would call them is shit tests. Hey. Like the lady sometimes, I don't know if it's conscious or not. I really don't. But it seems like they're almost pushing boundaries for the sake of actually seeing, can you hold me in this? Can you hold me in this intensity, in this this chaos, which is the beauty of the feminine. Totally. And the masculine, again, especially when we don't have community to support us, like strong, masculine, stable, community, we're going to see that. And maybe we don't have the tools and the resources to actually hold that extremely chaotic feminine. And we then fall into that emotionality. And as men, then we're losing our pull of the masculine. We're falling into getting sucked into the chaos of the feminine. And the thing is, as a man, you have to hold that strong pull when they're holding their pull of the chaos. And it's not just conflict, obviously. It's the beauty, it's the fun, it's the dancing around, the dancing of the Shakti energy while Shiva sits in meditation. That's, the poetry of it. And we need to be able to hold that pole.
Can we sit in that fire?
Can we sit in that fire?
And so that's a lot of what I'm working with with the men that I work with. I do one-on-one work, and we're working on transmuting mental states in the moment, having control over moods, being able to sit in the fire of
Yes.
energy that's
Yes.
rising in us, right? Because these beautiful women, it's their nature to be the way that they are, to be sometimes chaotic.
And we should not hate on them for that. Again, we shouldn't have this expectation that the masculine and the feminine are identical.
Totally.
You know, for me, it's like like my past intimate committed relationships, I'd be like, damn, what? Am I just stuck with this? What do I do? And that's in hindsight due to my own ability to resource myself and be like, fuck, I'm getting sucked into this. And it's starting to like make my life hell. It's like, what if I had a group of guys that I could go to and be like, hey, here's what's happening. And people could share their stories, hold space for me as I'm experiencing that. Because I think a lot of the, issues might be a strong word, but a lot of the interesting happenings we see in relationships nowadays where the polarities seem to be collapsing. And it's really interesting. A lot of women tend to be liking less masculine guys. What is interesting, one of my homies yesterday was actually saying there's a link between birth control and women actually start to desire men with less masculine features. And there was a study I saw on Instagram, a few pages posted, where the ideal male body is like man boobs and love handles. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not sure I subscribe to that.
Neither do I.
To that being an authentic desire from women.
Well, what they're saying is it's actually a result of birth control fucking up the hormonal systems of women, where they're craving, like, let's just say betas. I hate to say that, but let's be honest. There's like something interesting going on where men are starting to crave more masculine women. So someone wear the pants. You know what I mean? That kind of, I'll say beta, and it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of true. That sort of beta male lifestyle, like having let mommy pay for everything. Let mommy wear the pants. And then the women are looking for less like masculine, powerful men.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It could be it could be a result of this outside force, right? Let's use birth control as the example. It's changing something on a biological level.
Right.
And then that affects everything else. And so we might be trying to play out in situations like this. We might be trying to heal that part of ourselves, like archetypally. And what I mean by that is, like, if I'm biologically feeling more masculine, then I just biologically, energetically am on this side of the spectrum where now I'm attracting more of that feminine.
Yeah, dude.
And so the whole relational field at this point it's really layered because of all of the shit from these outside forces, call it whatever you want. Yep. And so to gather all this together, I think it begins internally, right? When I'm looking for a relationship with someone, how am I getting cleansed, clean, right with myself first? And where am I at on this spectrum? Where am I at on this pole? Am I way feminine? Am I way masculine?
Right.
Can I rest, W-R-E-S-T, some sort of balance there so that I can pull in to like get, right? To get or to rest satisfaction, right? Like to control. If I can assert my power of will in the direction of where am I at? I'm going to position myself on this point in the pole so that I can then attract.
Yeah. Because let's just say I've always loved, and I think this is natural, very feminine women.
Sure.
I love it. I am drooling. I am just foaming at the mouth. Pupils dilate. I love it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think most men organically would, who are holding that masculine pole.
Would,
exactly. When we're not collapsing into man boobs and love handles, Netflix and jacking off 3 times a day. As a joke, but like, let's be serious. That's a fucking thing. And I think it has a real negative effect on the psyches, the bodies, and the souls of men and the collective as a whole. Like, I really think we need women, actually. Well, I'm not going to put the emphasis on them, but we need to hold higher standards. Everybody. No need to collapse. Recognize the limit is the limit that we create on how great that we can be. And that includes body, mind, and soul. Nothing should be excluded, especially in spiritual circles. I think that a lot of the times we people tend to neglect the body. Oh, it's just the body. It'll be dust soon. Just who cares? And I'm like, dog, you ever like go on a run and notice how good you feel afterwards? You ever stretch and notice how good you
like
feel
we're
afterwards?
Neglecting the wisdom of the body.
Exactly. It's
People don't
disconnected.
feel safe, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why to thine own self be true. How are we checking in with ourselves? How am I surrounding myself with men, people who have gone before me, who I really look up to, who are my heroes, right? Who are doing this in a way that I look up to.
Yeah.
Right. I'm currently involved. I started this men's group, and we are pressing into all these edges, sex, truth, right? Where are you really at? Let's observe where you're really at. Let's challenge some of these ideas that you have about yourself, about what a man is, right? So that we can start from there. And many of us are uninitiated. We have uninitiated parts of ourselves, right? So an example of this in my life is when I'm out to dinner with my partner. It's our anniversary, right? And she's like, what are we going to do afterwards? She says that she wants to go home, spend the night by herself. So immediately inside myself, there's this part that rises up that's, what do you mean? Do you want to go? Right? Like it wants to figure it out. There's this energy that's like, right? And so this is an opportunity for me. It's a point of pain, right? Do I need to be a victim to this energy? This is an uninitiated part of me that's crying. I need to find out why she doesn't want to spend time with me. Right? So it's an opportunity in that moment for me to rise above that, observe what's coming up in me, and implement these practices of transmutation. How can I let that go?
Hold space for that.
Right.
Let it be.
Let it be. Apply nurturance, parent yourself, whatever it is. But the uninitiated energy of that would be, I'm going to now project onto her all my fears of why she doesn't want to hang out with me.
I'm not good enough.
It's all these real life example.
Rejection.
Right? Like,
totally, bro. Thank you for saying that.
Can I find, can I resource myself in that moment? Can I find security inside myself in that moment? Let her do her thing. Maybe tactfully, precisely offer some like, hey, is everything all right? Right? Like typically you would want to spend the night with me.
Right.
But it's challenging for an uninitiated man to tactfully deliver an energy that arises in them that is fearful. Right. And stuck inside themselves of enoughness. And so this is what we're working with. We need to work with initiating parts of ourselves, young, boyish parts of ourselves that either fold up or project out. How can we, like you called it, right? How can we sit in that fire and rise above it? Yeah,
bro. So poetic, and I love it. Thank you for using that real life example, because that's kind of where it's at. And for me, drawing on, again, parts work, internal family systems kind of lens, that part of you is a wounded, often really young part, where that rejection, that abandonment, that whatever it is, that sense of betrayal or that I'm not good enough, those parts are usually like 12 years old, 7 years old. And that little part of you needs love only from you. Only from you. And that's the thing. Can I actually hold it?
We don't learn that.
And we don't learn that. And it's like this little kid inside me is screaming, I just want to be enough. I just want to be enough. I just want you to be there for me.
That's why we need to create community with men who are doing that.
And to hold space for each other. But then we have the individual path as well, to hold space for ourselves. So this little kid that's crying, can you please hold me? And we say, no, no, no. And if we could just turn towards it and say, yes, I got you. Right. That's that integration. What's trippy with internal family systems, with parts work, the intrapsychic image in the mind's eye of this part, it can turn from like, hunched over little kid to all of a sudden when they start to get more love and they start to be seen more, they actually start to grow. Literally in your mind's eye. And all of a sudden they're big enough that all these protector parts, say the people pleaser, the overworker, whatever it is, they recognize, oh, I don't need to protect this part that feels like a failure, this part that feels like, they're not enough, because they've been healed. And that's the thing. It's through holding space for all of these things. And sometimes I want to say, because for me, my path has been individual for the most part, but I want to lean more into the path of being able to be vulnerable, especially with men. Because I have wounding, I mean, like anyone else, we got wounding all over the place. You know what I mean? But especially with the masculine from, you know, situations earlier in my life.
Little
and it's
bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking pussy.
Exactly. So those parts, and it's not even conscious in the realm of thoughts. It's in my body. It's like a part of me is like, I don't know, I don't need that. I'm good by myself. And a part of that, you know, that's half true, sure. But like, think of how much better my life could be if I had the ability to be vulnerable and show up in community like that and actually experience what it's like to be held.
Oh, it's one of those things where pain is the portal. It's like that which I'm so resistant to has the medicine that I
is
seek.
the way.
Yeah, man. And so when it comes to like, I have wounding with the masculine too, and I have chosen to on the verge of recognizing that that's true for me. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
I have to be able to do that, right? If I don't see what's happening, then I'm just going to keep drifting along. But on the verge of recognizing that in myself, I began to lean in to that pain because I had exhausted every other option. Leaning into my relationships for security and support. Yeah. That goes terrible. The ocean just completely demolishes the land, you know? And so through exhausting other methods, right here I am, the last house on the end of the street with the lights off that I won't go into, which is starting to get more vulnerable with men. Yeah. Right. And so through leaning in with men and being honest, I started to attract men in my life that were actually initiated. Yeah. Like, because
what does that mean?
So to what you're referring to as to be able to maturely so using the idea of internal family systems, this boy part that's like 12 years old, however old it is, uninitiated, it shows up as the boy would show up, cries, whines, right? And you become it. You become enmeshed in that. An initiated part is when, like you said, even in your mind's eye, that when you give it attention, when you turn towards it, when you nurture it, it expands, and then it can be used, right? It can be part of your expression. It's integrated at that point. That's an initiated part. That's an initiated energy when it is expressed not on one side of the pole or the other side, but I have advocacy in the way that I'm directing that part. I am directing that part, right? The capital S self in internal family systems. And so we need more of that in our lives. We need to be able to, the most transformation I have experienced in my relationships has been when I can pause and create objectivity to whatever is arising in my system.
What do you mean when you say that, create objectivity?
To pause and be the observer of that which is arising in me. So if my partner is across from me and they're saying something that is generating a lot of energy inside of me and it's triggering me, right? Am I able to slow the fuck down, pause, and be the one who sees that happening?
So what's the effect when you can become the witness?
The effect is that energy can now be used rather than you being used by it.
Totally. I like that.
Right. And so we're speaking about this right now as if people could just do this. Yeah. Right. But this takes a lot of practice.
Yep. It
does.
Like
a lot of practice. We're talking about something that is way upstream. Yeah. I mean, like,
what is possible?
It's the way. It's the only way. Everyone's looking for a quick fix. We started by saying, like, there's all this Instagram stuff. There's so much coming through the pipeline. This is what's good for you. This is what's not good for you. This is what a man is, right? Yeah. Like, great, quick fix, fine. But ultimately, it all starts with the long game. Yeah. We have to pause, slow down, and check in with ourselves and start cultivating identity
Totally.
in that which is above the fluctuation of my moods,
Totally.
of my mental states. I am not all that.
Yep.
Right. And so this ties right into relationship and men's work. And like, how am I being the director of this system?
Yep.
That includes all my parts.
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I think it's like that distinction between reactivity and response and responsibility.
Definitely.
You know, and it's
responsibility,
exactly.
ability to be able to be responsive.
And from the meditative lens, which I have so much of a background in, it's like starting to become mindful. And mindfulness is just basically described as the ability to pay attention to what is going on.
That's it.
That's all that mindfulness is. What is going on? And do I have a choice in this?
Totally.
And the answer is yes, you do.
You're
always.
touching right in on it, dude.
Exactly.
Whether it's mindfulness, interoception, which has been a game changer for me, dog.
Interoception. What does that
mean?
The
ability to be inside your system, your body, your soma, and fully recognize what's happening there, to get familiar with what's happening inside your system. It's another form of mindfulness. This is the key. If human beings are not practicing slowing down and then we will be a slave. To the fluctuations of the mind, and I mean, all is mind. In many schools of thought in Hermeticism, but we will be a slave to the fluctuations of this system, whether it's emotional, physical, mental. And so that's the root of the issue.
And this comes down to a very deep spiritual understanding.
Sure.
And I heard it said again. Alan in the last podcast said we have the feminine, which is the world of form. Everything that could ever be is the feminine, actually, because everything is impermanent. Every mind state, every person, every experience, even the mountains themselves will crumble into dust and be repurposed. It's all the feminine. It's all chaotic. And there's something beyond that, though, that we don't actually tend to have access to. And that is the stability of the formless. These places in consciousness we can go that it's almost like the zero and infinite point. Again, it's hard to describe what zero is to somebody who has no reference of it. Like when the Arabs first brought the number zero and the concept of zero to Europe, people didn't get it. It's like, what do you mean zero? Like anytime there's a thing, there's got to be one at least. What do you mean zero? So there's a part of us that doesn't actually understand voidness, but yet that is an essential part of our identity and something that we can tap into and that can nourish the being, especially as men.
We need to.
Dude, I've said this for a minute. If we don't, as a society, not just a society, as a planet, start to understand our mind, slow things down so that we can see things clearly, we are fucked. fucked. And I will say that till I die. Because, bro, it's just like you follow the monkey mind, it's following you. You're going to follow
it. Look at your
it.
life, right?
You have to look at your life. You have to look at your own mind. How am I relating to this? Is this world enough? Am I enough? And all of these things, when the mind is moving so fast, it's like an abstract cloud of static we call anxiety or depression. We don't even know what the fuck is going on. First step, slow it down. And it's like the metaphor I always get is the image of like a train. Like a train going through the woods, you look out the window, it's like a blur. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And then when the train slows down, you're like, oh, these are trees and there's some deer and there's a mountain over there. But you need to slow down to see what's going on. That's step one, and that's mindfulness, where then we have the ability to respond, where shorty, wifey, whatever, she can be crazy. And a part of me loves that.
Yeah.
A part of me loves that.
Totally.
And at the same time, I can hold it and not push her away for that. I can hold that and, again, be that witness, that observer, and just become, again, aware of what's going on. And what we'll find with any sort of dysregulation, it's very simply emotion or like physical somatic sensations. Start being curious about that. Is it a tension in my chest? Does it feel like a tingling? Is there a tightness in my throat? Is there a heat in my hands? Let's spend time with just being with that. And all of a sudden, shorty's going crazy and I feel the tightness in my chest. I feel the lump in my throat, the stories in my mind, and I'm witnessing them all.
Exactly.
And that's where I'm like, oh, this is not that bad.
Exactly.
I can hold this. And that's when shit changes.
Yeah, man. I totally agree with you. If we don't, we will be fucked.
Yeah.
You know, this is, it's no joke. When we can use our own lives as an example of how things are going. I need to take radical responsibility for my life. That which I do not like externally, right, is a reflection of what's going on inside of me. And so when I see others, when I work with men who are victims to their circumstances, we're looking at someone who believes that they need things externally to be a certain way for them to be okay. That is the complete opposite of what we are talking about here, right? Like,
preach.
The way that I'm learning that life works is that everything is a reflection of myself. So taking radical responsibility means, okay, if I'm not liking what's happening outside of here, then I need to implement something to start to change this.
Bro.
And we don't understand that, we won't do it. Like, we're talking about cultivating mindfulness, no one's going to do that if they don't think that they can be the creator of their experience.
And that's the externalization of power. Right. We have this habit of externalizing power to someone else. It's the government's fault. It's society's fault. Oh, all the power is going to be in the guru, in the priest, in the books. Bro, any spiritual teacher that doesn't bring you back to yourself, in my opinion, is full of dog shit. Because if they did it, you can too. Yeah. That's what the Buddha would always say. It's like, I'm just a human being. Right. Like Christ, just a human being at one level. Yeah. And this is where you
will do greater things.
It depends on where your mind's at. Where are you setting the limit to your experience? Because again, wherever we set our limit, it exists and it's really there. Why? Because we're the creator. And can we start to dip our toes into more of the waters of the infinite? And when I say that, understand, wait, could this all be in my head? And that's what's so difficult for people to understand is like, we have this addiction to the world is really out there. Right. Where Buddhism, Hermeticism says the world is inside your mind. Right. Everything that I'm experiencing, Nick, in front of me, this mic, the mind is actually like contracting around this thing and making it seem solid and real. But what is this microphone, for instance, beyond the label, beyond calling it a microphone, beyond the conceptuality of the mind and analyzing this image and saying microphone? What is this? We are starting to enter into voidness. And that's the thing. Can we start to nourish the being with that? And for, let's just say, the habituated ego. And when I say ego, I mean the solid, separate sense of self that we're conditioned to experience. For that ego, approaching and actually, I would say, bathing in that emptiness, in that void, is terrifying. Because when everything is void, by definition, that means the ego must be void as well. And so that's what the ego calls a death experience. And it is going to avoid, it's going to kick and scream, it's going to say, this is bullshit, anything to avoid that death experience. And it's so interesting to see people on the spiritual path when they start to get closer to that real radical, I would say, enlightenment, understanding the fluidity of all experience, understanding you can never separate it from your own mind or the conditioned mind. People start to kick and scream and they actually become like, I don't like this. I don't like this freedom. And I always tell people, the metaphor I use is let the eyes adjust to the light of that. Recognize you don't need, things don't need to be real.
To slow down.
Exactly.
And speaking of the changes of the seasons, and you have to slow down and breathe. It's crucial. All the issues in my life come from only strictly identifying with ego self. And I'm not trying to say that we reject or anything like that, but the succession of things matter. The problems in my life exist because I'm not somewhat stabilized in that voidness. Yeah. Right. And then using this, I call it this system, this ego system to then express into the world. Totally. Yeah. And this is something, I teach this practice. It's called somatic channeling. Right. And it's all about not outsourcing your power. It's a radical shift in the way that spiritual practice comes through someone. Interesting. Right. This practice. So this practice, it woke up in me. So through the art of surrender, through coming down into my body as often as possible, all throughout the day, in my meditation practice, I began to be moved right? And we're staying on the thread of not outsourcing power,
Yeah.
right? So I'm surrendering deeply as often as I can to the body, and I'm beginning to be moved, and then I'm beginning to be put into asana in my meditation sessions. I'm not deciding to do this.
What do you mean asana? You mean a specific
a
bodily
pose,
form?
a yogic pose. That's an asana. A physical yogic pose is called an asana. As I continue to surrender, mudra starts coming through at different points in my energy system. Tapping comes through. Breath starts to come through. Kriya.
Yeah.
Right? And none of this has been through a willful implementation. So much of us have, where we go to a yoga class, right? I feel like I need some yoga. And then we go through all these positions, but the art of resourcing yourself, surrendering and opening to source, to power, that power can move us exactly where we need to be moved.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's an amazing practice.
A couple things come to my mind. First, when I'm hearing you say the body organically takes mudras and asanas, is I think of smoking DMT. Sure. For me, when I smoke DMT, especially at a show, I'll be the guy to rip a DMT joint and blast the fuck off at a set. I can't control my body. And it's trippy. Sometimes my body will contort in these really interesting and sometimes symmetrical ways that I can't explain. And again, it's so much energy is in the being at that point when you're off that substance. Yeah. You can't control yourself.
Yeah. I'm glad you're bringing this up, man. This has been, so it's channeled, this modality, somatic channeling, was channeled through my partner, Taylor. And it's waking up in the collective right now. Others who are not even connected to Taylor are calling it somatic channeling as well.
That's trippy.
This is the stuff we're referring to. This practice, it has its roots in Tantra. It's called Ladihan.
Really?
These beings were actually being moved through the art of surrender and letting go. It's deeply feminine. Whoa. It's deeply receptive. And it's the art of awakening without psychedelics, right? We're accessing these frequencies, these states that come through very strongly on things like DMT and right. But this is a sustainable way to heal yourself, because what's coming through in these somatic channeling sessions, and when you take DMT and you lose control of your body, source has control of your body.
Exactly.
Right? And you're being contorted in these symmetrical ways. You don't really understand what's happening, but guess what? Source knows what's happening. Yeah. It's moving you in a way to heal you in the perfect way. Rather than me being like, oh, I should go to a yoga class today and do 10 asanas, right? It's like, no, if we learn to slow down, open, surrender, source can start to move us in ways that is perfect for where we're at.
Dude, and it's so trippy because this is so much more primary than the conceptual mind.
Sure.
This is the energetic body. And for me, this is hilarious. So years ago, the last time they did Envision 2 years ago, I was there and I was smoking a lot of changa, and I tend to rip the mushrooms. So I was probably on 15 or 20 grams of mushrooms, throughout a day. But the body, the energy being, the whole being is so porous of that degree of tryptamines. And dude, something started to happen at these sets off this changa, which is basically smokable ayahuasca, for people who don't know what changa is. Changa comes in waves like ayahuasca, and it lasts for 30, 40 minutes, depending on how much you smoke. But dude, I got to the point where, there's bass bumping. It's, probably 4 a.m, and I'm contorting my body in these ways where nonstop for 40 plus minutes, my body is cracking. My neck, my sternum, my hips, my ankles. I have to take my shoes off because my toes and everything is cracking. My homies are looking at me and they're like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, dude, I can't control my body. I don't know.
This is exactly what comes through on somatic channeling.
And I've done so, just to fill this out. So this experience of cracking the body like that happened for like on and off for like years, especially on tryptamines, mushrooms, and DMT, where something was aligning and I couldn't control my body. And now I had these points of like hyper pressure and tension in what I call my wings, like right in the center of my like scapula on my lats, and right on the outside here. Like it's trippy and like poetic and sort of like prophetic. Actually, it's like I was gaining my wings. It's like I literally, bro, I don't know how to describe it. It trips me out. But like on this pain point in my hips, like again, I could Theragun it, I could massage it, I could have someone else massage it for hours. Didn't do shit. And it was only these weird arrangements of my body. It's like move the leg, move the arm over here, and then. And the neck, like everything starts to crack. And I didn't, like, again, I'm not thinking any of this. The body is just moving.
Yep.
And now I'm at this point where I feel like there was like an evolution. Like I was in a chrysalis and I was like being made into my new form.
So
it's like
beautiful,
the angels are like not just healing, but aligning your energy body. They're like, we have something dope in plan for
real
you.
Stuff,
this exactly. This happened to me for years. So it was at Envision, and then then going to festivals, having those high dose psychedelic experiences, and then at Burning Man. And this finally started to stop. I would say in the last 6 months, where I still get those cracks. Like when I'm sitting in meditation, just completely straight, I feel the Kundalini energy from my lower spine. I feel it moving up, and I feel like in a deep breath, it'll pop in the center of my back.
Yep.
And eventually it'll move all the way up to where my spinal cord connects to the base of my skull. And I will do something like, and I'll be in meditation at the Zen Center, dead silent, and I'll throw my head back.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll be like, dude, did I just break my fucking neck? And I'm like, no, but dude, this has been happening for like 3 years, where it's like I could feel the energy moving up my spine, and it was like those pops were like moving, like aligning shit perfectly to where the Kundalini could make its way all the way up to the base of my skull. And then like this huge crack, and it's like when I would crack my neck like that, I would come to this really radical place of like clarity. And I can't even describe it. It's like the energy is now aligned.
It's like so pure.
And it's like all that
space.
exactly because the Kundalini, so much energy was working its way up the spine. And it's like, all right, we need to clear out the gunk. And it's like it's this panema, spiritual, basically darkness is a little too harsh of a word, but this something is blocking the psyche, and it's blocking the alignment in the physical spine.
Yeah.
And it's like so sitting in meditation, just a upright posture, I found that is the best way for the Kundalini to actually just move organically. Totally.
But you can't disregard the journey towards that point of sitting in the Zen Center where that pop happens.
Oh, totally.
Because there's so much that you've implemented in your life. Whether it's taking substances and devoted practice, right? That all leads to that point.
Yeah.
And so what we're learning is exactly what you just mentioned. There are these blockages, right? They're called granthis.
Interesting.
In the tantric tradition. They're actual energetic knots.
Whoa.
Right? And so in this, we don't want to, anyone listening to this will be like, damn, bro, I got to start taking DMT more. And maybe. That's great. Do it. Run it. See what
I think
happens.
It's just healthy, bro. I think DMT is good for the being.
Yeah, man. It's been my experience that people should experience that. And it can become extremely unsustainable and very challenging to integrate.
Destabilizing. Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because it's great to share all these experiences, but the listeners want to know, I want to know when I listen to a podcast, like, how do I do this?
Facts.
How does this actually happen for me? Because we're talking about an awakening, a balance, an initiation. We're talking about coming home to ourselves so that we can relate to others, ourselves, to the world in a mature way.
And I have a question. So I want to go back to that, something you said about the knots in the energy being, because I've said there's like knots in the psyche, and I can almost feel them.
It's that.
Yeah.
Well, the psyche is an actual field in our system as well. It's not
exactly
the psyche, right? Like it's an actual layer in the energetic body. There's many bodies, and so to kind of bring this home, somatic channeling is a journey. It's a journey of unraveling these knots. Not only that, awakening cities
Yeah.
or powers, right? So there's this, when you talked about that hyper clarity that came when you right? Like there's a fucking power there where there's invincibility, right? And the process of going into a somatic channeling session or taking mushrooms, but hopefully with some guidance, right? Yeah. The process of cleansing the system, unraveling these densities in the field that are trauma, ideas, right?
Yeah.
Will open us to our innate powers.
Yes.
And that is the most, what somatic channeling has done for me has opened me to a spaciousness where I am the
bro,
dude, I'm doing it.
You're inspiring me.
Like,
go.
We'll have to rip a session, man.
Yeah, I would love to. And this, I'm about to hit a wave right now. I feel it. So when we talk about the contractions in the psyche, I say that all the time. They're not just in the psyche. That affects your physical form. So when there are those pops, when there's that clearing, when there's that opening, it's your whole energy body, and that affects your mind. And in Buddhism, they say that what constructs that experience of a contraction in your psyche is actually very simple. It's fear. And fear, when it's present, is the primordial contractive force.
Stagnant energy.
Where we could say love is the primordial expansive force. So in order to purify our psyches and our bodies, it means we're going into the fear points. What am I afraid of? Is it death? Is it trauma? Is it my partner's going to leave me? Is it I'm not good enough? Find that fear and go straight into it with curiosity. What is this? Can I hold this? Well, that's when you're starting to inject this very tight knot with a little bit of love, and that's expansion. All of a sudden it becomes that formation that seems so real and solid. It becomes more porous, and you're like, wait, maybe I don't need my partner to love me all the time for me to feel like enough. Maybe I don't need 7 figures a year to be enough. Maybe I don't need XYZ to be a success. Again, these are fear-based contractions where the more we feed that fear and believe it unconsciously, the more it solidifies and it gets so tight. It actually, that tightness, that density blocks the light of love.
And now that's the only lens that I see through. So the point here is like, take up a practice, right? Get devoted to a fucking practice that works. Hit people up like
what works
me,
for
like you.
Yeah.
It's been daily meditation, daily movement, daily somatic. Well, not daily somatic channeling, but picking up an energetic practice. Contemplation, slowing down. Like, we need to be implementing these things on a daily basis.
Exactly.
We need to pick up a practice that is what's worked for me, to stay devoted to practicing.
And not just for you. I would say this is something about specifically Buddhism, Hinduism, and Eastern philosophies. They say if you don't practice, nothing's going to change. You can read as many books as you want. You can be as devoted as you feel. But like, if you're not doing some sort of practice, your mind is still going to be fucked.
Well, it's wild, dude. I don't have to try hard to be fearful. Think about that.
It's very natural.
It's like I'm going up against decades, at least in this lifetime, of patterns that haven't served me. And so when we talk about practice, and this is what I talk about with men that I work with, dude, it's like, you don't have to wake up and try to be fearful. It's just on. Sometimes it's just on.
Creation
depends
will give
on
it
what
to
you're
us.
doing in your life, but like there's a subtle sort of like backdrop of like fear and contraction and scaredness. Don't want to, right? And so we need to implement some sort of counterforce to that. And it sucks. Right? We always want, we're just being fed all these quick opportunities to wake up, right? No one wants to put in the practice.
Talking about practice, bro.
Like, the thing is like, people in my circle often think that I'm on something.
Like substance-wise?
Yeah. When I'm just not. Right. And it's a direct result of the devoted practice that I put in all these spheres,
And for me, it's like, meditation, sitting in stillness. And I want to be vulnerable and share that recently for me, I've always in my life suffered from, I don't like how clinical this term is, but like seasonal depression, as in just my psyche, my being becomes more internal. It becomes more reserved. And there's a big shift that happens for me in the winter, much more so when I lived in New York when I was growing up. Out here, I mean, in Colorado, it's like sunny and pretty nice out. Still though, there's a shift. And recently I had this experience of, for a few days, of being like, I'm not like this, feeling as connected to other people or myself, which is interesting. And then like my mind is scrambled. It's like something's wrong, but I don't know what it is. And like, just like this kind of cloud of darkness where it's like, I don't even know what I need right now. And it was multiple days of that. And then I was like, you know what I need? To sit heavy and just be in meditation. And that was the door opening through actually being with the darkness and allowing it as it is and starting to actually merge with the darkness. It's the resistance of it that gives it so much power.
You're attuned, man. You're conjuring.
It took a long time.
Conjuring the wisdom of the seasons, cycles, though.
Exactly.
Right? Like we use that word seasons, and it's sort of like physical, but everything runs in cycles. And so the feelings, the emotions that come through this system are directly correlated to these energetic material bodies in the cosmos, right? And so when we move into winter, we're being asked by the cosmos to slow down, to pay our attention in a more direct way to these things, right? To not be so fucking quick with everything. And it's hard to pay attention because we have a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, it sounds like, you know, I'm in that same space where I'm listening to the energy that's present. What is it asking me to do? And do I have any power over that?
And the answer is always yes, you do. But sometimes there is a place where surrender is necessary, and life will fucking break you down and bring you to your knees. And that's a part of learning how to surrender and open to something bigger than yourself. And that's the thing, dude. That's when I get fucked by life. And I wrote a poem about this. I feel like I get stripped bare. Everything that I thought I had is gone. Like the relationship, like I thought I was good on money and now I'm not. Fuck, dude, what am I doing? Everything that you thought you had gets stripped and you're left just flapping in the winds with you and really the only shit that you ever needed, which is dead ass nothing.
Go into that.
You are a miracle. This life is a fucking miraculous paradise when I'm not holding on to wishing that it was some other way. Why can't I have more money? Why can't Shorty like me? Why can't I have more friends? Why can't I feel good? Fuck it. Let it happen. Let yourself fall into that darkness, really taste it and really merge with it.
That's where the transmutation happens.
That's where the resurrection happens, bro.
Same
Exactly. That's where the phoenix from the ashes, baby. But you got to be willing to let yourself fall and burn.
Pain is the portal.
Yes, dude. Yes.
The other alternative is that I face away from that. And like you mentioned, it starts to just get more and more dense.
More and more dense.
More and more stuff there. And so it is the only way. And it's not that scary, right? Like it's important to note that I started to riff on like, okay, what do we actually do here? And if we're talking about facing pain and going into the pain, that which we resist.
And fear.
The last men's group that I held was about refusing to go into the cave, which you know holds the treasure you seek,
bro.
Right? What is that cave for you? And so it's a good contemplation. This is one of the practices that we can implement on a daily basis as listeners, as men. What in my life right now is the cave that I refuse to go into, right? And so when we do that, we have to. We have to get familiar with the illusory nature of the darkness of that cave, of the fear, because it can be liberating. Man, like this, and I know you know this, and I'm just speaking right in terms of like, dude, this is the deal, right? Like when we start to explore pain, we start to see that it's not what we thought it was, and it's actually the way.
It is. That's the only way, bro.
It's the
way.
We
live in this culture that has been pushing
anything in life.
Fear, pain, we push it all away. More Netflix, more bullshit, more junk food, dude. Go into the pain, exercise, sit in silence, even though, yes, it's
we
boring.
can do it.
Exactly.
We can do it. We need to do it.
And so it reminds me of this quote by Marcus Aurelius, which is, the obstacle is the way.
Totally.
Whatever that thing is. And there's this beautiful poetic quote that I want to read by Antonio Machado, which is, and he was the demon of my dreams, the most handsome of all angels. His victorious eyes blazed like steel, and the flames that fell from his torch like drops lit up the dungeon of my soul. Would you go with me? No, never. Tombs and dead bodies frighten me. But his iron hand took mine. You will go with me. And in my dreams I walked, blinded by his red torch. In the dungeon I heard the sounds of chains and the stirring of beasts that were in cages. So, bro, this is the poetic understanding of going into the darkness.
Descend.
Taking the hand of the most beautiful of angels to let them lead you into that thing that is for your highest purpose. And that is the darkness, baby. This is what depth psychologists Carl Jung, James Hillman talk about all the time. The soul craves that. Yeah. That's where the fertility is. And we act as though it's a tragedy. And yes, at one level, darkness really can be a tragedy. And that's part of it. The fertility of life needs the darkness. We need that fertile, dense soil to be able to give our lives meaning, purpose, and direction. And we forget that. And it's like, I see it as a gift from the angels, that darkness. When I, like, looking back on my life, the crippling depression and anxiety I felt, how much I fucking hated myself back in the day, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I see that now as such a blessing. It made me who I am. And I've been with myself sobbing, with tears coming down my face saying thank you. And like, that's come from me going through that ultimate pain portal, which was years and trying to figure this shit out. What the fuck do I do? Not taking the easy way out. I mean, suicide was never really on the table for me. I've thought about, like, damn, this fucking blows. I'm sleeping like 18 hours a day. I can't connect with anyone. Like, wouldn't it be so much easier if this could just end? And like, that flavor of darkness. I'm also so unbelievably stubborn where I'm like, I'm going to figure this shit out. I don't give a fuck how long it takes. It's happening.
Force it. Yeah.
Even when I was hella depressed, I was like, dude, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I have no choice. Literally, the angels were like, let's see what this motherfucker can do. Yeah. Let's really give him some darkness and see what's up. That.
Now look at you.
I literally, bro. And I'm so thankful. Again, it made me, all the ways I hated myself, I was able to transmute that. Yeah. Like, the body that I've constructed, the look, the ability to connect, the ability to speak eloquently. It's a result of darkness. Facing pain and being like, I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. It hurts to have that recognition. But that is what's going to push you to greatness. And this flaccid beta mentality that we have in the culture is this really, I think, destructive flavor of self-love, which is like, you're okay, baby, just as you are. You just want to eat Pizza Hut and jack off all day, play video games? Oh, I'm going to love you regardless. We need that masculine love to come in here and say, get the fuck up, get a job, and make some friends. Get out of here.
It's like that.
That's love, baby. And we forget about that. Yeah. We lean too deeply into the feminine and think that's the only flavor of love. When that masculine, again, that energy that's like, stop smoking weed, get a fucking job, and make something out of your life, that's love. That's love.
And we're providing that. We're providing that for men. You know, I'm intimately familiar with that accountability, that descent that you just described. You know, I was plunged into the depths of addiction, savage addiction and isolation for years and years and years. And so meeting those depths and then getting to a space where suicide was on the table, right? Like, not being able to navigate life in any capacity whatsoever. I met a turning point. Right. And you mentioned it as well. It's like, I need to do something about this. And what I did was start to face all that I was running from.
Yes.
That's it. And I started to do that. And I started to get familiar with the nature of that which I was running from. And I started to see that, oh, okay. And others are doing this too. Like, I have community out there, right? Like, there are men out there that are saying, yo, sit down, shut the fuck up, take a look at this, right? Like, that's where I come from. I come from the East Coast. It's like, no joke, dude, right? And that's beneficial. Yeah. That's beneficial, because if I was, allowed to wallow and just drift along, I wouldn't be the man I am today.
Right.
And look at us, man. We're flavorful, bright men.
Yep.
And that comes from descending, from the ability to face and transmute and channel pain in a mature way.
And the only way we can learn how to transmute that pain and darkness is by going into it.
That's it.
And looking around and not giving up. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like what I am is a product of maybe like a delusional tenacity. That's the thing. When everything else is saying give up, you have to have that party that says, fuck that. Not me. It's not me. And we get to make that choice. Is that me? Am I the person that's going to chill in the basement, play video games, eat pizza, and just beat off? Is that really you? Ask that question. Sit with it. It's going to be a hard question for some people. Or do you want to rise to the occasion and be like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to sleep, before 3 a.m. I'm going to, I don't know, maybe not just release all my life force.
My arrows.
Yeah, exactly. And so
we have a choice, right? We have a choice. And this is why I'm so grateful that you asked me to be on the podcast, because
first of many.
It's about mentioning the truth that, we get it. Like, we've been there.
Yes.
Right? It's not these people who are stuck in the basement playing video games, pulling their pud, right? Like, they're not deep down, they don't want to be doing that. They feel stuck. They feel victimized. They feel like they don't have a way out. And, podcasts like this can help transform people, help make people meet a turning point. But we have a choice.
Yeah.
We chose to take on this life, and you can do it. I want to let people know that they can do it, and that the support is out there, and we have to make a fucking decision. And we have to stand at a turning point and make a decision for ourselves.
Making that turning point to
take radical responsibility.
Bro, you took the words out of my mouth. Take radical responsibility. When my life sucks, it's on me.
It's because of you.
And that's the thing. So many people try to cope with life as it is, not realizing, this is linked to my mental stories, my projections, my assumptions, my belief of who I am, what's worthy, what success is. All of that's made up. We need to maybe start to question that. How real are these stories that I'm living by?
Well, it is a result of those stories, but the point is that you think that we think that we're victims to that. Right. It's very important for people to understand. It was important for me to understand that my life is the way that it is because of me, even though I went through savage shit when I was a kid, right? Like unforgivable stuff that I've since forgiven, right? But back then, so no matter what someone's life circumstances are, the hard thing to hear is that it is because of the way you are in relationship to it.
Can you say more to that?
It's the fact that I'm seeing things through a victimized lens, that I have no power to transcend that which is keeping me in the basement playing video games, running away. Like, I have to resign to the fact that I am choosing to do that, and that there are methods and people and community and practices
support
that I can lean on, no matter how fucking hard it is to rouse yourself from your lethargy and fucking make a decision to do something different. Are you going to play a different song today?
Yeah,
right?
Bro.
Like, are you going to choose to do something, even if it's like, play your video games and jack off once.
Literally.
Right? Like, do something different.
Baby steps.
Do one thing fucking different.
And I want to say, when I was 14, 15, I remember I would literally just play video games and beat off, bro. When it was when I remember it was a winter break, and my parents are gone. I'm not doing shit. I don't have a real phone at this point. I was I'm not gonna see how many times I can beat off in a day. Because guess what?
Self is
bro, literally. But I'm just in this monkey mind. I guess I'll just try to beat off 7 times. Totally. I think my max was legitimately 7. And at that point, for anyone who hasn't made it to 7 in a day, you're firing complete blanks. But you're doing it why are you doing this? It's I'm literally hurting my dick. If I'm, it's interesting. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
It's addiction. It's a pattern of let me escape.
It's fear. Yeah.
It is.
You don't want to go into the pain. And this is why the initiated man, I keep coming back to that. I was never taught. When my fucking cock got hard when I was a kid, my dad was never I see what's happening with him. I see the way he's looking at that girl.
Right.
I see the way that, right? Like, and he wasn't like, hey, this is what you do with this.
Yeah,
Right? This is what you do with this when you meet this stage of your life.
Yeah.
So it starts, I mean, bro, the way that we're running as men away from ourselves and the pain and the darkness is so layered. It's so deep.
And intergenerational, actually.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And that's the thing. So I think in that example of like, okay, I'm a boy in puberty. I'm starting to look at chicks. My dick's getting hard for no reason. I'm like, what's going on right now? Which I remember that shit was hilarious. In like middle school, I'd be like, yo, I'm hard for no reason. I'm like, what do? I just got to put the binder over the shorts, dude. And like, or just tuck it under the belt, bro. That's, hilarious, bro. But like nobody tells you what to do. Like health class, like teach you how to like put on a condom and that herpes is not chill. But like other than that, like
it's twisted, man.
We need men and women, like mothers, fathers, to go to their sons and daughters and talk to them about their changing bodies. Like, okay, like that's a difficult conversation. I get it's a little awkward. It's a little weird. You're gonna talk to your kid about his dick and like, but dude, who else is gonna do it?
Well, think of like not doing it.
Then he's lost. He's like, what do I do with this? Right.
What comes from an uninitiated energy of an uninitiated erotic energy that arises in the 6-year-old to 8-year-old boy? Right. He goes to his other uninitiated friends and they fucking, they're trying to figure it out on their own. And so how that builds over time is this twisted, perverted expression of that energy, right? And now there's a whole fucking culture that is expressing that energy through perversion because we were never told what to do with it. So we need to start helping each other get initiated. I keep using that word, but like, how do we work with, channel these energies?
Yeah, bro.
Of whether it's eros, mental energies, emotions, whatever the fuck is happening in the system, right? It's what we use to relate, right? So so it's like extrapolate this shit out.
And I want to say, like, again, the uninitiated masculine energy, when that is present in the culture, again, I'm looking to my like 14-year-old friends to see what's up. I feel like that's when we lean into like rapey frat boy culture, just some uninitiated, just dog shit expression of masculinity. Wild, and that's the thing. That's what is then leading people in this culture. Some people who don't have those fucking necessary role models. And I think, again, what's the worst that'll happen? You have that conversation with your son. It'll be a little bit awkward. Again, as a man, can you hold that space?
Go into the pain.
Can you hold that space? Be like, hey, I know my son's awkward, like feeling a little weird about this, but we need to talk about it.
We need to break the chains.
We need to talk about the danger of porn, the danger of how do I put this? Uninitiated masculine energy in the erotic. How that can lead into this toxic masculine rapey bullshit that hurts everybody.
Yeah. It's just and then it plays out when you get older, you don't know what you want. You think you know what the woman wants. And then I'm not going to speak for women, but there's like we're all sort of just trying to figure it out, but we're depending on these sources that are really perverted and twisted.
Can you give some examples?
We're trying to work. Yeah, we're trying to work our stuff out in the relational realm, in the sexual realm. The personal example for me is like, premature ejaculation, right? Like that's a thing that has come up.
It's a real thing.
That's a thing that comes up for me. And so my inability, who do I go to with that? Right?
It's a vulnerable subject.
And so it's been my experience that I've had to move into the darkness, right? Like I don't want anyone to know about this, dude, because of how that's going to look on me, how women will look at. Right. I had to move into that and start letting people in.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is what's happening with me. What are you doing with this? Right. Is this a thing?
Yeah.
And like before I started doing that, dude, I was such a slave to that being present inside of me, right? Like when that would show up in a sexual interaction, I would be plagued by shame, guilt, right? Bro. Because I think it should be going a really specific way.
Right.
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 And so that's been a really that's a big pain point in my personal experience.
Yeah.
That I continually work with today, and there's been resurrection, transmutation in that area, but it's only come through being vulnerable, asking others how they're doing it,
Yep.
right? To use that word, we're playing it out. Initiate that energy that shows up when I'm in a situation and I come fast. What shows up there?
Right.
What do I do with that? Right? Why am I coming fast? Is there a wound there? Is there a density there? Right? Like that's contemplation. It's like, how do I start to work with that? How do I start to go into that space?
Yeah.
To practice with it, to open it, to get familiar with it. So these are some of the real life experiences with that.
And thank you for being vulnerable. And I want to say that is not an uncommon experience for many, many men.
Yeah.
Again, the uninitiated masculine. We don't also have a familiarity and an intimacy with the energy body. And this is something that's talked about in Eastern traditions. We have an energy body. Just like we have a physical body, we have a mental body,
it's a fact.
An energy body.
It's not a theory anymore.
Right. It's like, and you can feel it. And that's the thing. We're so locked out of the more subtle experiences of being, like the energy body, that we have no skill in moving that energy and navigating through it. And that's the thing. I used to have that thing where I would nut so fast, like, and I would be like, I'm sorry, my bad. Like, give me 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. And then I'm like, nah, I'm going to smoke a joint and chill. But like,
it's hard to come back from that.
But it's hard to come. But bro, those nuts are beautiful. Let's just put it like that. Now I don't nut, if I'm being honest. And when I say I don't nut, I don't let any substance out of my dick. I hold that energy so tight.
Yeah.
And this was what I found to be a remedy for nutting fast is actually semen retention. And so I've talked about this all the time, and it's because it's like absolutely goated practice. Ask all my boys I tell it to are like, dude, it's a game changer. Because you can not only are you learning to retain that life force to apply to your creative endeavors, your physical pursuits, your social connections, your career, but when you're in physical intimacy, when you're smashing cheeks and you want to really hit it, dude. So if you have that 45 seconds in, I'm a nut. Okay, great. Pull out, squeeze that shit, arch your back, and like don't let anything out.
Use your breath.
Use your breath. Exactly. Deepen
draw
into
it
that.
up.
Draw it up. And then so you have like what's I experience as it's like an energetic orgasm, but none of the actual cum, the nut doesn't leave your dick.
There's no ejaculation.
There's no ejaculation.
It's still orgasmic.
So you're keeping, I mean, in Eastern traditions, that nut, that semen is your life force as a man. Don't get rid of that. That's your creative life force. Keep it in. And then you have this moment where if I'm just being like, visually detailed, the dick is very sensitive, almost as if you did ejaculate. And then you have that sort of like energetic orgasm. And then you can just like go slow, chill for a sec, whatever. And then you can hit your fucking stride and you can make her come. And guess what? As a man, that feels good. When shorty's nutting and I'm still good to go. And that's the thing. That's a superpower. There is a way out. There is a way to be better. It's like, and this is part of the wisdom of these Eastern traditions. They've already figured this out. This is not breaking news.
Right.
This has been around for thousands of years. How are we so cut off from this? Sometimes I'm like, is there an intentional like darkness that's trying to keep us from accessing these beautiful practices?
A rabbit hole. Yeah, we could go down that. But it's also the beauty of connection with other men, right? And being able to face the pain and darkness. It's like the ability to go into that. I can find that, there's a solution to this. I don't have to run from this.
Right.
I don't have to. And so.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So the first step of, really navigating, we'll just use the example of premature ejaculation. How we navigate that is first becoming intimate with ourselves and recognizing, hey, there's something going on in my life that I'm not super stoked on and I really want to change. And it's the recognition of that we overlook sometimes as being really painful, actually. The fact that I'm not where I want to be.
Right.
That subtlety is actually what we're running from. I want to be better. And again, this self-love, again, quote unquote, beta wave that I talk about is this self-love, just accepting mediocrity. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to just taste that suffering a little bit and let it point you in the right direction? And that's, again, the love of the Father. I've said this in previous podcasts.
It's beautiful.
It's the love of the Father that's saying, hey, you can be better and you know that,
beautiful, man.
and don't settle. There's a place for, again, the utter surrender. And that surrender is a feminine energy. Sometimes you have to surrender to life and let it fuck you. And I mean that, because sometimes life fucks you. And that's like a fact, bro. Anyone who's been alive knows sometimes life has got to fuck you.
And it's a good thing.
And you got to surrender into that and let yourself get stripped bare. And there's a place for that. But there's also a place for that masculine love of like, you know what? I want better for myself. Yeah. I want better for the people that I love. And recognizing that's not bad. Again, if I just fall into everything's okay, it's all self-love, and then I'm 400 pounds about to die of heart disease, it's like, well, are you sure? Are you sure? And that's the thing. Can we embrace the love of the mother as well as the love of the father? That like all-encompassing surrender into creation. That love, as well as knowing I can always be better. There's no finish line. I won't make one, and creation won't make one for you. It's like, it's up for you to decide, right? And there's no right and wrong there.
Radical responsibility, man.
Boom, boom, boom. So this has been such a fucking fire podcast. Yeah, we're about at time, but I want to give you, Nick, a chance to plug what you're doing, the men's groups you lead, the one-on-ones you do.
Thank you, man.
Of course.
So people can find me at nicholasbalsamo.com. There's a whole description of what I'm up to there, the groups that I'm leading, workshops that I'm having. I got men's groups going on. I'm bringing in breathwork journeys to yoga studios. And so, yeah, look me up on the website. Yeah, bro, that's where you can find me.
Bro, thank you so much for this conversation, my man. I want to do this again with you.
Yeah,
this
man,
was a
thank
sick
you
energy.
For having me, bro.
Dude, literally my pleasure. Literally my pleasure. All right, we'll see you next time.
Peace.